Taiwanese, what do you sell?
We sell a number of things. We started out doing, kind of like Chris did, just a little bit of everything because everything looked great.
Hmm.
But we niched down into molded plastics. Well, we're in the process of, I should say. We're going to keep our collectibles and one-off store because it's definitely a good cash flow setup. Well, it's not right now because I've been concentrating too much on Amazon, but um, yeah, basically we've got our one-off store that we're breaking out,
Do you
and
ever
then
do you ever deal with a company called Trucklight for molded plastics?
hmm, it doesn't sound familiar.
They make like the turn signal indicators on trucks and stuff like that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, they make all
Now I
those.
recognize the name now. Yeah,
Hmm.
actually, a long time ago, I used to turn wrenches on the big trucks. Well, mostly just changed oil and tires, but
Hmm.
What's up, guys? Today we are going to talk about the 10 steps of an eBay reselling business. Jeffrey had sort of asked about process flow and how we run our businesses, and I just want to go over the basic steps with you guys. I put the steps in the description if you guys want to look at them while we go over these. Let us know if you do these in order or not. Um, the accounting part, where you actually record items coming in, is different for everyone. The easiest way to do it, just to be upfront, is to just put everything on one credit card, and you can do either cost accounting or accrual accounting, where you record the entire cost as one expense or per item. So that's going to be different. Talk to your CPA. Um, I'll probably make a resource for people to make it easier for people, especially people who only list under 10 items a day. They probably don't need like a robust system. But the 10 steps are sourcing, prepping, photography, describing items, listing, storing the items, reconciling the sale, printing the label, picking, packing, and shipping. I count as one. And then customer service and order management. You guys all need a standard operating system, the way that you do things, even if you are small, because if you have a system, you can grow as big as you want. But trust me on this one, you can't really build it as you go, in a sense, because this can get out of hand really quickly, and if you do every single thing a different way, it's not the right way to run an e-commerce business, in my opinion. You should take your time while it's small, figure out all these different processes. It won't take you too long. What's up, Josh, Harry, Tornado? Once you have these set up, you can easily scale your business to any size. So it takes a week or two to develop how you do these things, but once you have it, someone can work for you. You can grow your business to any size. So appreciate you guys' time. Um, Jeffrey, we're going to start with you on your flow. So you're about to go get some stuff this weekend in the lot. You go
Hmm.
and get it. What is your plan once the stuff gets home?
I'm gonna go get it, and then I take it to my warehouse, and then after that, I will actually source the. I have to source the boxes because with collectibles, you have to find a box that stuff fits in because not everything fits in a priority mailbox or an envelope. Of those items that I have boxes for, then I will take it and put those in a bin and photograph that bin down at the warehouse, and then I'll bring the bin to my house, and those are the items that I list throughout the week. So it's normally 1 to 2 bins full of items.
Do you have a storage system yet?
I mean, I have I think it's 32 feet long, 16-foot high of pallet racking set up along one side of the one wall.
Do you have a numbering system or anything yet?
Just box number 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is that in the description?
It's in the custom SKU.
Okay. And then when you ship the items, do you do that all? How do you ship every day, or how do you handle the shipping part?
The ship, I mean, as an item sells, normally, like right now, the scale I'm at, only 1 to 2 items sell a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a garage at my house that the bins that have the items that have been listed go in. And then I don't know, I've yet to empty a bin yet. So Haven't really recycled a bin number.
Okay, no problem. The bin number, approximately how many items fit in one of those bins?
It all depends. All depends on the item number. Like when your license plates and knives, you can fit a lot of them in. I have one bin of Jim Beam decanters that are model cars, like a fire truck, an ambulance, and I think there's a Volkswagen Bug. Only
Those are
those three.
awesome.
Only three fit in that one.
I can't wait for you to add YouTube channel in your process, because the stuff that you pick up is going to go so quick, and it's super exciting because you may have there's a couple of YouTubers I'm talking to right now, including Harry Tornado and there's like a group of all Josh YouTubers. But Suburban Beard, he was talking about another auction site. I forgot what it's called. If you're listening, Josh, maybe you can put it in the chat. But there's another auction site that people are using that's 100% auctions. And if you have any type of following, it'll sell super quickly. So I might be potentially opening up my channel to help people sell things on that. If you think it would go well auction and you want to use my audience, let's try and test that. But I think it would be really cool to test it. Okay. And so for right now, you're just barely building your accounting system, right? That's where you're at.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll try to put some resources together for you. Keith, can you chat?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
How's it going? You're in the man cave.
Yeah, in the garage. Yeah,
That's awesome. Is it cold?
it's cool today, but we're down in Texas, so it's not. We don't get that cold that fast. So
okay. So how are things? It's been a couple of weeks since I've talked to you. What is the new status? Tell us what's going on.
well, it's been how's it been? It's been good generally. My sales flattened out last month when that glitch happened. I didn't think they had a couple of things going on. I was testing some pricing too at the same time, and I'm not sure exactly which to attribute it to. But generally, I'm listing more and I'm selling more. So the more I list, the more I sell. That seems the way it works.
And you're still at your day job?
I don't have a day job. I teach part-time, just have a little bit of money coming in. But I used to work at Dell as a programmer for them. And I quit that job to do some product development stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So how is the store? You were doing you were listing like crazy, because I think you were in between projects.
Yeah. And it's the listing's still going well. So my whole thing is I sell DVDs essentially, and that only, because as a one-person operation, I wanted to kind of see how streamlined I could get the whole process, right? So I essentially have one sourcer that has kind of an endless supply of DVDs. I just call them up and they send me 1,000 when I get done with 1,000. And I'm prioritizing my listings by ones that have UPC on them. So I've got a setup in my listing setup. I got a UPC scanner. I hit the UPC. It fills out most of the information if it's not already listed. I tweak a little bit of stuff, and I can get a listing done in about 2 minutes typically. So I spend about 2 hours a day, and I knock out about 50 plus every day. And currently I'm selling about 12 a day. So, my listing count is going up.
What does a DVD weigh?
It's a couple of ounces. It goes in just a regular bubble mailer, and I ship it media mail, so that's $2.75. So if it's just a single DVD, I can fit 2 or 3 of them in here for the same price, depending on the size. If it's one of the bigger ones or a box set, I might have to go to a bigger envelope, and that'll jump to like $3.25 or something like that.
That is so awesome that everything ships the same way.
Yeah, no, that was the whole thing. Like, that was just my whole idea, is like to streamline, as much as possible. And like my ASP is low compared to a lot of resellers, but the process of shipping and the process of listing goes so fast that I'm able to ramp up pretty quickly.
Do you have any issues with people like counterfeits? Do you ever get any claims?
No, and that is one of the benefits of having a low ISP, I think, is I generally don't have too much in the way of people complaining about stuff because they just don't pay that much, right? When they're paying $5, $7, $8 for a DVD, it's generally not worth most people's time to complain, even if there is an issue, right? And for the ones that I do, I just refund fast because I'm paying 50 cents for my DVD. So it's not a big loss. I just say quick refund, don't send it back, right? And that generally kind of hits most of my negative comments off at the pass.
So how can I ask how many items you have in your store?
Yeah, I've currently got a little over 6,000 listed currently. Some of about 10 to 15% of those are multiples of the same item. So this is one of the things that's kind of interesting about this business is most of my things are one-off, but then there's that percentage that grows the more DVDs I get that essentially is replenishables, right? Because they're just the more common ones, and I get them and I turn them around, right?
How many DVDs do you think there are?
I really thought when I was getting closer to 10,000 that that number would drop off, but I'm really there's just so many DVDs out there. I'm really not seeing that kind of flattening out of the curve that I thought I would.
Let me see. Add a couple.
I lost your audio. Looks like you.
Sorry. So what's next for you? What do you think?
So my long-term plan is I sold my first thing October 15th last year. So I just hit my kind of 1-year anniversary. And in that time, I went from, selling nothing to selling about 3,500, 3,200, 3,500 last month. And so I want to just continue that growth up to about twice of what it is right now. And then transition into being the DVD business being kind of the pay the bills business, then hire somebody to kind of run that, and then work in some original products that I've developed, which is kind of why I stopped working at Dell, was to create some original products. And so I've got 3 ready, I'm currently ready to sell. And so I want to kind of transition into working that more full time.
What office out of Dell did you work out of?
I'm in Texas, out in Austin, Texas. So it was kind of their home office in Round Rock.
Sorry, I was feeling triggered because Paula in the chat is saying that she's having problems offering free shipping, and returns and shipping are killing her. But we all have the exact same shipping rates and the exact same return issues. So there's no reason to complain about that, because it's exactly the same for everybody. So I want to keep this really tight to what we can do to improve, what we can do to streamline. If you are worried about your return rate, you can sell in categories with low return rates. There's a lot of things that you can do, but complaining never helps. Sorry, I don't know how. It always triggers me when people say that shipping is killing them, or it's just we all play on the exact same website with the same 24 hours every day, and I don't know why I'm triggered tonight. Maybe I'm hungry. I just can't stand it. We're all doing the exact same thing. So Gina is saying she was messing up her shipping because she was charging too low. See, that's actionable. You can go in there and figure it out and find out how to charge more. But we all have, here's the thing. It's really cool what Keith is doing, because this is how the largest eBay stores operate. They operate looking for efficiencies. If you can ship a DVD, what Keith can do is he can ship items faster than most people because they're all the same. He can list things way faster. He can research way faster. He can build a database of everything. Frank on the call has 22,000 templates for pretty much every video game. It took like 3 or 4 years to do that, but now listing is like under 1 minute. So he can list 60 items an hour. That's really fast. he sold like 1,700 of one game over the years. It's just like Wii Sports or something, because it just is, it's in every bundle that you buy online. So it's really slow at first, but these type of stores kill it. I think in the top 100 stores, I feel like half of them are media, CDs, DVDs, books. So you just have to be really good at it. Imagine if you have really small margins, any return will be crazy. And one last thought: when I went to an eBay lunch, um, what's her name, Paula, there was a guy that had $7,000 a day in returns, and he seemed reasonably happy for somebody that has that much in returns per day. So it is what it is. I love it. Or Amazon Seller 99 says it's one of the fastest products to list. Do you do front and back? Do you take a picture of the actual DVD?
Only if it's not in their database. So when I first started out, in order to ramp as fast as possible, if they didn't have a stock photo in the database, I put it in the death pile. And I did that just to get to 4,000 as quickly as possible. Now, since that death pile is actually starting to add up and make a bunch of space, take up a bunch of space, I'm filtering that in with my new purchases. And I've got a setup now with a camera that I can take a picture, flip it, take a picture, and then it's ready to go. Before I was using the camera as the UPC reader, then I bought a UPC reader as a secondary thing, and now I use the camera to take photos. So I've got a copy stand set up for it.
Ty, thoughts?
Do you go in and create the actual catalog item within eBay?
As little as possible. I'm just really trying to piggyback on the work that others have done. And fortunately, for the bulk of the DVDs, like if you looked at my shelves, probably 7 out of 10 of the DVDs on the shelves you would recognize, right? I mean, there's just been that many years and that many movies and, you know, TV movies and TV series. It's just like, who knew there were this many until you see them all out in front of you, right? When's the last time you went into a Blockbuster? It's like we kind of lost that experience of going into a room and being surrounded by 30,000 things we've already seen before. It's like, what are we going to pick now? You know, that's my garage. So
I love that idea, because this is like the Dave Ramsey method of reselling, where you list the easy stuff first. Then if you get in a big enough store, then you have some momentum, you have some cash flow, then take your time and go back, because you build momentum listing items quickly. Jeffrey, did you have some thoughts?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Paula, what can you do better to sell books? This is a good question, because books and media are similar. So Keith, do you look at when you buy a pallet or something, do you look at improvement as in you sort quicker, or how do you improve a lot of DVDs?
So I've got it down really solid right now. So when I get a box, I'm buying them at 1,000 at a time right now, mainly for space. I'll be transitioning after the first of the year to a larger space where I'll be able to get a pallet of them. But with 1,000, that's a good number to kind of go through, right? And so the other thing about this system is it's all alphabetical, right? So that makes the storage really easy. And so when I get a box, I get 5 boxes of 200 in there. I just group them alphabetically in stacks, and then I line them all up A through Z, and then I pull out all the duplicates, because I might get 2 or 3 copies of the same movie. If I do, it's more likely they're already in my database, so I set them in a different place because those will be faster to list. Then, you know, I go through that just stack by stack at a time until I'm through the 1,000. It takes me about 2 hours to do that first initial sort of the 1,000. You know, at 50 a day, it doesn't take me that long to get through 1,000 of them. About 10 days in, I got to order another one, and just keep rolling. Right?
Your camera, I'm assuming, is fixed.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's like the best thing ever. That's really fast.
Yeah, it took me a while to work out the kinks and stuff, but now I'm really kind of trucking with it. So, and I've hit those plateaus where it's like, I don't want to list today and all that stuff. But once you kind of get the setup in and you've optimized things, you turn on some music or put you in the background and just start to work. It goes pretty smoothly. Like I could double that. I could spend 4 days because I don't work during the day right now. I teach at night, so I pretty much have my days free. So I could do 4 hours a day, but I feel like that's a burnout path for me. So I've scaled it back to 2 hours a day, knocking 50 to 60 out a day, and then just keep on moving. Then I'm working on pricing and that kind of stuff outside of that.
This is a really good lesson, everybody. I love eBay at a 2 to 4 hours a day. If you do eBay for 8 hours a day, you usually are not happy. It's really, really hard to keep that pace up. Even people who do it for a living, we find that, or I find that 4 hours a day is pretty much the max of the actual processing part. You would need, and if you were doing 4 hours a day, you'd probably still binge or watch Netflix for 7 hours and try to decompress, because that's just a lot of hard. The listing and processing part is very mentally taxing. The sourcing part you could do all day for some people, but usually the processing. I love your setup, Keith, because you're not task switching. It's really cool. Listing in one category. One more thought, Paula, for people who sell books. Books is a category that's pretty time consuming, and it's based really on efficiency. I think if you look at most booksellers, I think Greg Murphy, he's a huge bookseller. I think his average sale price, I think, is under $5, right? So and he's making six figures a year. So the volume is insane. And he even has the dollar book days in his warehouse where you go there, and in person, people go there like every month or something, and they can get books for $1. And that's like a huge chunk of his business. So for Keith, it might make sense to do a sale, yard sale or something, DVD sale for locals for stuff that's not worth listing. If he gets big enough, that could be a huge percentage of his revenue. You have no idea. That can happen. So Paula, there are also people who only sell rare books. So there's keys to different kinds of eBay. There's no one eBay. Let's see here. About half your business is on Amazon is DVD, Blu-ray, and vinyl. That is awesome. Do you get a lot of Blu-rays, Keith?
I get a few of them, but they have not sold as well. I don't think as many Blu-ray players sold as DVD players. So I think that the audience is just not as big in that space. I thought, I when I was playing around, I tried to buy some video games. I tried to buy some Blu-rays. I tried to mix it up a little bit, but DVDs are the things that move because everybody's got a DVD player.
Also, one more thought, Paula. The people I know that are really good at books, they know which platform is best for each book. Because, the books, like Amazon is known for books and media, for sure. You have to be ungated. So Amazon Seller 99 sells 99% new. Those probably don't do as well on eBay, I'm guessing. Maybe Amazon Seller can let us know if those same titles would do well on eBay. My guess is no. But again, you have to understand each platform. They're going to have different price points. I think there are certain books that sell for more on eBay. Like, for example, Whole 30, the diet book. I think it sells for the same price on eBay and Amazon. And I don't think it's price sensitive because it has an Amazon rank of like 10. So it sells like instantly. So again, I wanted to say something that's kind of preachy. Okay. So if you mentally decide that this is a business and not a hobby, everything changes. And I just think basically when you consider it a business, you sort of pick a business model, whether it's rare items or it's volume, or you're going to do a mix of the best finds from estate sales. I don't want to make it seem like I don't like people who only sell one-off items. You just have to be picky. You can't sell one-off items and have a low average sale price. It doesn't work that way. You have to sell similar items if you're going to do a low sell price. Otherwise it takes too much time. because then you get down to people who are taking 20 minutes to list an item that makes $3. That's you can't do that. Oh, interesting. So Amazon seller says 10% on eBay and 90% on Amazon. Let's see. A-Books is a great place to sell. Thank you, Paula, for joining. Let's see. I have one also thought, which is interesting. In order to build your store up, I think people should think of it as in, when I was doing that challenge where you list 4 times a week, that was pretty sustainable for people. So I think everyone should think about listing maybe 2 to 4 days a week and taking some time off. The list every day thing, I think, is kind of discouraging if you don't list one day. See people losing huge momentum, and that's like not really realistic to list every day. So sustainable frugal living is asking if you only sell on eBay, Keith.
Well, I did hook up Bonanza and the other one, which you have told me about 5 or 6 months ago. What the heck is the name of it? TrueGather.
Mm-hmm.
I hooked up both of those. I've sold maybe a dozen things in 5 months, but the big problem that I had there was all of my pricing up until just recently has been based around promotions. Since I don't want to do any research on what things should cost or go for, what I do is I list everything at $9 to start, and then I run concurrent promotions that are 25% off, 35% off, 40% off, 45% off. And I go at that full $9 price for 10 days. And then for the next 10 days, I do 25% off and 35% off and 45% off. And at some point during that timeout, it typically sells. And then I have a lockdown price for that.
That's so interesting.
That's been my approach. But the problem is that those prices don't go to TrueGather or Bonanza. What happens is my full price goes, not the sale price. And so my high prices on those other platforms don't sell.
Well, that makes sense.
It hasn't moved anything for me very much.
NC Fire in the chat, I think, has this a similar model with t-shirts. T-shirts is a very fickle game. You have to have like every single thing. Like you guys, I think some of you guys might follow Hustler Hacks. He has like thousands and thousands of shirts for sale, and it's so trendy. Like he'll sell he has a Santa shirt that's sold like 400 times in one day and then 2 times the rest of the year. So you really have no idea what that looks like. So I feel like if the t-shirt game is people buy t-shirts year round, but different kinds of t-shirts. Yeah, Glenn Hustler Hacks. Are you doing $9 including shipping or plus shipping? That's a good
including
question.
Shipping. I do free shipping on everything.
Okay. Yeah. I probably will resume that 48 part series. I need to become more efficient with my content making. So what I'm going to do eventually is move this call onto a different channel, and then just have it run 24/7, and I'll come on it twice and just release 3 videos a week on the main channel with the best ideas. That way you guys don't have to, see this many uploads. I want to have it just be like, I want to condense this information for people, but then I also want to create a resource where people can chat. So also there's the Facebook group in the works. So that should help a lot, but I'm trying to think of the best way to deliver content from different ideas. So for example, the auction professor has some really good information on collectibles. So can I prompt him with like, hey, Don, I need 7 to 10 things that people can look out for every week. Then I can add that to the content so people know what to look for. Or let's say like Loretta Thrift Love Sell on Instagram. She sells a lot of interior design pieces. I would need to know what is really good. So when I did the reseller event, Ty, that you went to, those pods were really good. I think everyone learned a lot because I told people you have 45 minutes to give a really good presentation for people to go home and make more money. And like Jason T. Smith, a lot of people love him, a lot of people hate him, whatever. He put together like an incredible 1 hour presentation on what to do with a thrift store. You have an hour. This is how you should split your time. And it was really good and really on point. So I want to try to get that kind of stuff going. But it takes some time. Oh yeah, I already pressed charges. I actually was, to be honest, I was just testing this YouTube tip that I got. This guy was like, you should ask a really obvious question so your audience can interact with you. So I put, should I press? Obviously, I should press charges, right? So I think 2 people said I shouldn't press charges because I shouldn't ruin that person's life. But the reality is there are already charges filed against them because the police very rarely catch people who do this. So they're pushing as hard as they can because there's just rings of these people that break into people's cars. So Keith, how often do you run these sales?
They run all the time. So
Okay.
the way that it works is I initiate the sale. It runs typically for 30 days. But 45% off that $9 is the lowest I want to sell it at so that I can make some money, because of that shipping included aspect of it. So, but because it's all time based, in other words, 3 days go by, another set should be in the other group, right? I have to refresh them. So the 25, 35, and 40%, I cancel those about every 3 days and reinitiate them with the newest set, which include the new ones that I've listed over that time that have kind of rolled in. And then the 45, I just let that run until the time runs out, and then I reset that one because I don't need to go any lower with that one, and so it doesn't matter. They can just hang out at that price. So that has gotten pretty quickly. I started out doing like 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, like just as an experiment to see. And what I found out was up until 25%, like nobody was buying anything with a 5% discount. So like it was just a waste of my time to even do that. And so I was able to kind of shorten the time frame to sell off those discs by mixing that and just jumping straight to 25%.
So you're getting a lot every 2 weeks, Keith, roughly?
2 to 3 weeks, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pat, the reseller, is saying he basically picks up a lot every 2 months and then processes it and then starts over again. That's interesting.
I would like to get that to that point, but I'm doing it out of my house right now, and that doesn't really fit. Until I move to another space, I kind of have this space that my wife is grumbling about, so I have to kind of balance that all out,
I don't know who said this. Somebody put health as wealth. Yep. Those who have health want many things. Those who don't want one thing. Yesterday, you guys know. Okay, so yesterday I was feeling really crappy. I don't know why. So I went to bed at 8 p.m. I've never gone to bed that early. And I woke up and I was completely fine after that. So I recommend if you guys are not feeling good, just go to sleep. You'll feel totally different the next day. Health is wealth. Arlene's going to get some sleep so they can go to the auction tomorrow. Awesome. Let's see. Pat the Reseller, where do you live? Yeah, I appreciate you guys smashing the like button. That helps other people find this channel. 7.5 minimum hours every night. Wow, that's pretty good, Duncan. I think that, Duncan, do you have kids? That seems challenging for people with families. Keith, do you have kids?
I do, and I'm kind of the chauffeur. So my wife is an attorney. She works out of the house. She kind of has to leave the house and go do her thing. But because my work is flexible right now, I'm sort of managing the household and our rental property and getting the kids to and from school. So that's kind of my jam right now.
Ty, do you have a family?
Yeah, we have 4 kids. I'm
Wow.
actually going to be in San Diego starting Tuesday. Um, my oldest boy, is going to be graduating from boot camp. Let's hope. Um, and then I've got a 8, a 5, and a 2-year-old. So pretty
I haven't even
busy
started yet.
most
That's
days.
impressive. How do you do it? It's amazing.
I just struggle every day, you know.
Um,
It's tough, but we manage. My wife just works down here a little bit during the day, does shipping. Of course, I work full-time job, and then this is my nighttime job. So
love it. I love how everyone's eBay business is different. That just makes me really happy. So Salas BB is asking about a pricing list for shipping. This is how I would approach it. You need a shipping chart. And in awesome processes like FastCap, you guys should check out this company called FastCap. One of my people I like is Paul Akers. He runs, I think, a $60 million company or something like that called FastCap. They make woodworking cabinetry parts, and they have a different color for each shipping thing. So when an item comes in, they assign it a color, and that's the color box that ships. So it's not confusing for the people who work there, because they sell all different kinds of products. And I think they manufacture and sell 600 products from scratch. So somebody orders it, they make it and ship it to the customer. That's awesome. So if you even have an idea that you want to do that's related to their niche, you can go there and apply for it. And if it gets accepted, they will produce and sell your product for you, which is really cool because there's no there's a reduced inventory cost because it's just the raw materials. So I would check that company out. Ooh, Marie was here visiting. There's a lot of good food here for sure. House of Prime Rib is crazy. The thick ass prime rib. If you guys are ever here, check out House of Prime Rib. Back to the shipping chart. First class, then padded flat rate. You can get away with the paper flat rate envelopes, although that's a really ghetto way to ship a package. They have the legal and the cardboard ones that are meant for legal documents, but people put, even including me, will put a pair of shoes in there to save a couple bucks on shipping. Padded, medium flat rate, large flat rate. What you can do is go to the post office and get one of every single item, come home. And the one that you're really going to want to learn when you're just getting started is the 12 by 15 1/3 cubic rate, which is currently not on eBay, but it's a pretty good advantage. It's so cheap that people are like Canadian sellers, because shipping in Canada is more complicated. Some of them will bulk ship items from the US because it's sometimes cheaper if you live near the border to like drive over the border, ship everything USPS. That's cheaper than trying to use Canada Post. Let's see.
I think the 12 by 12 by 6 is the pirate ship version of that.
Okay.
I think it's a half a cubic foot.
12 by 12 by 6 is half a cubic foot. 12 by 15 envelope is 0.3 cubic feet. And as a reseller, it behooves you to figure out the 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 cubic feet solutions, because it's going to save you a ton of money. What this means, guys, is you can ship flat rate regardless of weight. Yes, and Marie, this is intimidating. So I don't want to seem scary. When you're just starting, cubic shipping sounds complicated, and it is. So it's okay to feel intimidated, and it's not offered by eBay. Oh yeah, there's the Christmas packaging is starting to come.
Still more intimidating than the obnoxious zone shipping that you have to deal with now.
That's true. Zone shipping is even more obnoxious. Also, Balta, cubic shipping applies to up to 70 pounds, I believe. Somebody correct me if that's wrong. I think that as long as it's under 70 pounds and fits inside of that envelope, which I don't even know how you can fit 70 pounds into a padded flat rate. What object weighs that much? I would love to see somebody get it rejected. Like, nope, 75 pounds, can't ship it. Ooh, so it's Warg is saying that as a Canadian seller, they live 10 minutes away from a company called Chit Chat, a third-party company that allows to ship USPS. See, these are the hacks that people who sell know because it's huge. Oh, Sal's PV. I actually think it requires a short, even as a, like if you, even as somebody that's like savvy, it's still not straightforward how shipping works. It's not. It kind of requires a 30-minute class. It's not super easy. It's worth learning though. So Amazon Star 99 is saying an 8x7x2 box can fit into a flat rate padded. That's a good hack. For example, Jeffrey just sent me a knife, and I was thinking to myself, why didn't he send it in a bubble mailer? Because I think it's under a pound. But then I thought to myself, you probably shouldn't ship a knife not in a box in case something happened. But you can put a box into a padded flat rate and save a lot of money. You can buy those boxes that come in that exact shape, and they just slide straight into the padded flat rate. Elizabeth is saying if sales are down on, or go ahead, Ty.
Oh, I was just asking, did they, I know they were talking about clamping down on the box in a bag type of stuff. Did they ever, yeah, I know some people were kind of abusing that. Did they shut that down? I didn't really check into it much.
Mm-hmm.
Got a question. So I've been thinking about adding some promotional materials in with my DVDs to send people, maybe some coupon or promote something in the package. When I looked on the USPS site, they said that promotional materials were not allowed in media mail. I think it's unlikely that they would find them, but if they did, I don't know what their recourse would be, how they slap your hand or whatever. But is anybody else sending any kind of, hey, here's an advertisement, or we got a sale coming up, or that kind of stuff? Are you guys sending that out with any of your packaging?
No.
Repeat customers, of course, is what you really want ultimately.
Yeah, we send out stuff in ours. We usually send a thank you card and sometimes a business card. But they do probably the easiest way. If yours are all new, you probably wouldn't be able to do it. But if you're shipping, pre-owned or whatever, you can probably slip it inside of the case and get away with it. But if they open it, they can ban your media mail, and that'll cost you a whole lot more than than the customer.
Yeah. Thanks.
What is the FOMO method of shipping? FOMO method. But people are talking about shipping mugs. Putting a mug in a box and putting the box in your padded flat rate is totally legit. The problem is you cannot modify the envelope so that it's larger. So what people will do is they will add another flap or modify it so that it's larger. You can modify it so it's smaller. So it's kind of like, Ty, I think one of the things that people abuse is they will put a box inside of an envelope and then they'll tape down the ears. So it's essentially a box shape at that point. I don't think that's against USPS policy because you're not modifying it to be larger. The thing is, it's confusing to a worker because it doesn't look like an envelope. So I think you should refrain taping the ears down because it's confusing to the workers. They're not scrutinizing everything. They're going to doing their job as quickly as possible. So there's a 20-pound limit on cubic shipping. I did not know that, but thank you, Balta, for bringing that up. Oh, so the penalty is they will just charge a fee at delivery, is what Amazon Seller 99 is saying, or they will return the item back to you. Yeah, David. It's hard to tell if you have a repeat buyer. There are shipping softwares that tell you, but not a lot of eBay tools to help you. It should say right when a repeat buyer buys it, this is a repeat customer. It's not that hard to program that. I don't know why they don't do that. That's like very obvious.
Yeah,
Keith,
sometimes somebody will buy 2 discs from me in 2 different purchases.
right,
Could stick it in one envelope,
right.
and if I don't catch that because I see the mailing addresses, I end up sending out 2, and it costs me that extra bit. So
Yeah. Yeah. See, you can use tape to seal a flat rate package, but it must close on its own. I think you can reinforce all the seams. The exact terminology is you cannot encase the envelope in tape. And that is still super vague. What does that mean? You can put tape on 99% of it, but there's a tiny square that's not double tape. I don't know. Like it's very vague. Guys, you can read up on this by typing in USPS priority mail regulation in the Google, and it'll pull it right up to the article. I have a few videos on it, but you can just Google it and look up the exact terminology for the patent. But guys, I'm going to call it an evening so I can get something to eat. I appreciate everyone's time. Everyone have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks,
Take care, guys. Good luck at the auction, Jeffrey.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye, guys.